Welcome back to this session on structure and function of mind or personality. I'm sure you are all equipped with your egogram analysis and your graph is right in front of you. Let's see what it means. So this is the picture of the functional egogram, and you have your scores for CP, NP, AC, adult and natural child right in front of you. So the scores tell you that is the way in which you express your personality. So whatever part of your personality has the highest score, it means in a difficult situation, that is the ego stage you use most. You may have very high scores in one aspect and maybe low scores in another aspect. It doesn't mean any right or wrong about it. It only means that is the way you are using your personality now. It's like a mirror. When you physically look in a mirror, you can see what needs to be changed from your image. So now looking at this egogram, see whether you want to change anything. Change means whether you want to increase the usage of any particular part of your personality. If you have any questions on this, you can post in our comment section in the classroom, or you can bring it up as private discussion if you want when we meet personally. Now let's look at definition of mental health as given by the World Health Organization. According to the World Health Organization, mental health is a state of well-being in which the individual realizes his or her own abilities, can cope with the normal stresses of life, can work productively and fruitfully, and be able to make a contribution to his or her community. So, why am I bringing it here? We are learning about personality or mind. So, mind health, that is what mental health is. So, these are the qualities of a person with a healthy mind. So, when your mind is not so healthy, is when you call it psychopathology or unhealthy mind. So, let's see if this is the definition of mental health. Let's understand what is mental ill health or psychopathology. Now, then, the interesting question: what is mental disease or mental ill health? It's a state of being where the individual does not realize his or her own abilities. The individual cannot cope with the normal stresses of life. An individual cannot work productively and fruitfully, and also unable to make a contribution to his or her community. Okay, now do you see that mental ill health is probably a state experienced briefly by many of us at many or some points in our lives? Quite depressing, right? It may have transiently occurred to many of us in many occasions. But the interesting point is not that. The interesting point is it gets labeled as a disease or needs treatment only when it restricts or disables normal functioning of a person. Okay? Okay, let's see how TA explains psychopathology. The theory of transactional analysis by Eric Berne says psychopathology is the response to injuries or trauma or stress experienced during growth in childhood. So, how does this response to injuries get recorded into our personality? It gets internalized and forms part of our personality. and it manifests through our ego states, the way we use our ego state. So now you have got your scores, and you can now connect this concept with your ego state scores. So psychopathology can be understood in a structural manner and a functional manner. Let's look at that. Structural pathology can be grouped into contaminations, exclusions, and constant ego states. This is from a tier perspective. And the functional pathology is explained to be the way in which your energy shifts between your ego states, or the pattern of use of your ego states. Let's see what contamination means. This is the first picture to explain contamination. This is a picture of parent contamination. As you can see, the circle representing the parent overlaps the circle representing the adult ego state. So that is a picture depicting how the parent ego state contaminates the adult. The persons with this kind of contamination believes parental messages as adult reality. A typical example of their conversation would be using you instead of I while speaking about self. Instead of saying I will do that, they will say you will do that, for example. Now, contamination 2 is child contamination. You can see the circle depicting the child ego state overlaps the adult ego state. So, it's child contaminating the adult thinking. Typical features are some of the beliefs of the child ego state clouds the adult ego state thinking. They take fantasies as facts. They replay a time from childhood in many of their conversations. In our child contamination, these are typical behaviors. This is called double contamination. You can see both parent and child contaminating the adult ego state. There is replaying of parent slogans, thinking they are adult words. There is agreement to the child belief as though it is knowledgeable from the adult, and they think they are both coming from the adult. Their parental slogans and child beliefs are expressed as though it is a reality. Some tier theorists consider all contaminations as double contamination, meaning everyone has little bit of parent and child contamination. Only the intensity and the depth of it varies. Contaminations include all the outdated beliefs or script beliefs. We'll learn about it in detail later. Exclusion is when any one or two of the ego states are shut out. The pathology is called exclusion. Shut out means not used much. A person expresses very often only any one of the ego state or any two of the ego state. One or two of them are shut out. Recall here that each of the three ego states develop because they are existential needs for functioning in this world. So when you don't use one or two of them, it's a pathology because you are not attending to the existential need that part of your personality is expected to meet. Excluding a single ego state. This is a picture. Here the parent ego state is excluded. The person is constantly working either from the child or adult ego state. This is a situation where the adult is excluded. The parent and the child are expressed alternatively. This is a situation where the parent and the adult are expressed and child ego state is seldom expressed. Now, what are the characteristics of excluded persons or persons with the pathology of exclusion? Persons who exclude the parent ego state make their own rules in every situation. Persons with excluded adults face constant struggle between internal parent and child dialogue because their adult is not around to help or the adult part in them. Persons with excluded child ego state seldom expresses feelings. They appear very cold people. Now, another kind of pathology is called constant ego states. Here, two ego states are excluded and only one is used. So, a person functioning mostly from parent ego state is called a constant parent. A person functioning mostly from adult ego state is called a constant adult, and a person functioning mostly from child is called a constant child. Now, characteristics of the constant exclusion. A person with constant parent deals with the world from parent rules only. A person with constant adult functions solely as a planner or data processor. He or she seldom has fun. A person with a constant child, when faced with a problem, escalates feelings and finds it difficult to solve problems. Now, this is a model developed by a TA therapist called Susanna Temple, who worked in the field of education to express how our ego states can be fluently used, and she calls it the functional fluency model. So, if these are the parts of our ego states, she has classified the parent part into the CP part into positive and negative. Similarly, the NB part also into positive and negative, and also the adapted child into positive adapted child and negative adapted child. The free child also has positive and negative components. So, if this is the way our personality is, how can we develop functional fluency? So, this is expressed through the personal development goal for analyzing our ego states. Our goal is to develop ourselves into the integrated adult according to this theory. So, what we do here is the negative aspects are excluded. You can see the negative critical parent, the negative nurturing parent is excluded, whereas the positive nurturing qualities and the positive structuring qualities or the regulating or controlling qualities are incorporated into the adult or the accounting mode of our functioning. Similarly, the negative aspects of the free child and adapted child are also excluded, and positive aspects are retained in the adult. So, let's have a discussion on this next week when we meet or in our community. Thank you.